Welcome back to Enterprise Morning. If you just joined us, we're now heading to our main conversation segment. Protests on Monday grounded parts of Edo, Lagos, and Osun states as citizens kicked against economic hardship and called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address the problem of hunger in the country. The protests were organized by the Joint Action Front, JAF, the umbrella body of pro-workers civil society groups. It is a prelude to the two-day nationwide anti-hardship protest being organized by the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, which begins today, Tuesday. This is coming as Force Headquarters assured yesterday, that is Monday, that the police will protect workers nationwide and warned troublemakers against hijacking the protests. It will be recalled that human rights activist Femi Falana-Osan had during the weekend written to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Kunle Fagbemi, SAN, asking him to urge the police to provide security protection for NLC members who will participate in the protests today, Tuesday, and tomorrow, Wednesday. Of course, we also do know that yesterday's protests were not just in Lagos, Edo, and Osun, but in many more states than those three. Now, I still have with me in the studio Dr. Olayinka Oyegbile, who will basically help us to understand what happened yesterday and what we should really be expecting today and tomorrow. Doctor, thanks for staying back with us.
All right.
Yes. Now we head into the main conversation for the morning. The protests have already begun. Before the NLC would even say Jack Robinson, other Nigerians had said, you know what, we can't even wait as much as you've waited. We're kicking off. How do you begin?
Yes, I think yesterday night, up to early hours of this morning, I learned the NLC and government officials were meeting, and that their meeting was deadlocked. What is happening now is that JAF, CORE, and the other groups that have kicked off the protest yesterday are making NLC to realize that there's no going back on this. The issue, people should not mistake a protest for a strike. Mm-hmm. What the NLC is calling for is a protest. That, look, let the government know that things are getting tough. And thank God it started, I think, in Niger State. What the NLC is doing now is to key into the mood of the people. Mm-hmm. Because the NLC leadership is beginning to see that it is becoming like a toothless bulldog, and people no longer believe in its leadership. And if for the protest they've slated for today and tomorrow, if they dare come out again and tell people that, okay, the government has promised us that things will happen, therefore they won't go ahead with the protest again, nobody will believe them again. It's not as if anybody has been believing them, especially since the days of Waba. And I must confess to you, Joe Ajaero is a colleague. He is a journalist, yes. And I know him personally. It's not since he assumed the leadership of the NLC, things have been have not been easy. Yeah, he has not been able to hold the union very firmly. For instance, now this protest, the TUC pulled out, saying that they were not consulted. Yes. I don't know the politics that is between the NLC leadership and the TUC leadership. You remember that the last time they said they were going to go on strike, the same thing happened. Yes. The TUC said it was not part of it. Yes. So, I don't know how the two of them, or the two leadership, the leadership of the two unions, will not sit down together and agree on a plan of action. That, look, this is what we want to do, this is how we want to do it, before you announce it to the to the public, because as it is now, this protest, the way I see it, is even beyond NLC now. Even if NLC comes out today to say that they are no longer going on with it, the groups that have been formed, the CSOs and the other things that have, they will go ahead.
The coalitions.
And then the issue of whether the country is on edge or not, as far as I'm concerned, when a government comes in, a government promises you, they will promise you that, oh, we are going to do this, we are going to do that. We have seen that before. And I've said it, I think, on this program before, that how does anybody think I should believe Tinubu when Babangida was there? Obasanjo came in, Yaradua came in, Jonathan came in, Buhari came in. All these people, they made the same promises. So why should, and they failed. So why should a Nigerian believe Tinubu will be different? It is left for Tinubu to convince Nigerians. And Nigerians are doing the right thing by saying, no, we are not believing you. We want to see action for you to say that this is what, that you are different from all those leaders I've mentioned.
By action.
By action. So when people say that give government time, it was the same thing they told us during Jonathan time. It was the same thing they told us Yaradua. It was the same thing they told us Obasanjo. They told us the same thing under Buhari for 8 years. Be patient. Every government comes in and says it is embarking on a reform. Obasanjo said he was doing reform. Yaradua came, he was doing reform. Jonathan came, he was doing reform. Buhari came, he was doing reform. Tinubu is talking of reform again. Who will reform the reform? I mean, so all these people, they just go into the dictionary and bring some word and reform. What sort of reform are you doing? If there have been a reformation, why do you need to reform reformation? So, I mean,
good question.
Everybody comes in, they put their, they tell us that they have put their integrity online, we should believe them. But at the end of the day, you find out that you are worse than when the last government came in. So why should anybody, the government, in all honesty, every government that comes to power must earn the trust of citizens. So they shouldn't expect that
by action.
Exactly. They shouldn't expect that because the president has said this, then we should all go and sleep. You came in on May 29. You said subsidy is gone. Since that May 29 till now, we are still talking of how do we deal with these people, what palliative, what this, what that. 7, 8 months down the road, a lot of people have died. A lot of people have lost their jobs. So, will I wake up this morning and tell my children that let's wait and see, the reform the president is talking about. So, your breakfast today is wait for until the reform is mature? No. I mean, so, and when you want to take a decision, you must be ready for the consequences. Fair enough, the president, when he came in, said we should not pity him, that he asked for it. So, we should always put his leg to the fire.
We should. And
let him wake up and say, okay, you asked for this job, please do it.
Let me bring one other leg to the conversation. The NLC gave a long 2-week notice before this protest will take place. Government didn't call them on day 1. On day 2, a solid 13 days have passed. Now, that's when we're even seeing that they are sitting down with them. Does this sound even responsible? That you'd allow an ultimatum to slide past before you are now swinging into action?
You see, the thing with Nigeria is that it's either those in government don't take unions or the civil society seriously, or they feel that let us give them, let us wait till the last minute, then they will call them to a table or take them to industrial court and so on and so forth. The same thing that Obasanjo used that many years ago, the same thing that Buhari used 8-9 years ago, is the same thing they are using.
And we may just add futilely so.
That is it. So I don't know. You see, a philosopher said that it is only a stupid man or a foolish man who will continue to do the same thing and expect different results. And that is what government is always doing. 14 days ultimatum has been given. If it were to be a serious government, the next day after the ultimatum was given, the discussion should start. That come, why are you giving us this ultimatum? Okay, this is what we are doing. This is what we have done. This is what we have achieved. And this is what we are expecting to achieve. But all the while, promises, promises, promises. Now, May 29, subsidy was declared gone. Since that May 29, federal, state, and local government allocations have increased. What have they done with the extra allocation? States, federal, and local government, what they give to them, or what they share at the end of the month, has increased. But for goodness sake, have you looked around you and seen what they have done with the money? The roads are still bad, and they promised us that, oh, when we remove subsidy, we'll be able to fix road, we'll be able to do this. If you say that, okay, to fix other infrastructure, maybe you want to do public transport and so on, it will take time before you order for buses, CNG buses, or whatever they were talking about then. Is it going to take you that long for us to see that you are fixing the roads? No. The Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, which is my road, has remained in tatters for more than 10, 15 years. It defeated Obasanjo, it defeated Yar'Adua, it defeated Jonathan, it has defeated Buhari and Fashola. When Fashola, as a Lagosian, became the Minister of Works, we thought it was going to, it has defeated him. David Umahi is there now, it is defeating him. So now, what is the physical thing that we have seen them do that, okay, oh, this road, they have started fixing it. Nothing has been done. Yet, allocations have increased to federal, state, and local government. So why is it that we have not seen this? So, if you keep telling us that, oh, we will do this, we will do that, for how long are we going to wait? We have been waiting for the past 63, 64 years.
That's a deep question. For how long are we going to wait? Nigeria's patience is something that has been stretched to unimaginable heights.
The patients have been stretched thin.
Yes.
So that's why everybody's on edge. You are going on. Look, the country has become so so tense that ordinarily, when I drive, especially in the night, and I get to a traffic light and the light stop me, I begin to look left, right, and if I see a shadow coming, I'm tensed up. Because people come to you in traffic, they see that you are driving, they think you are better than them. They begin to make a request, oh, even if it is 100 naira, I have not eaten since morning, I have not done. So, and one time, very soon, the city will no longer be safe. I was driving on the along Ojota axis the other day around 5, 6, and the trailer broke down. Come and see the crowd of area boys. Yeah. It was the presence of 2 armed policemen that stood with the driver and the motorboy that I suspected prevented those boys from, because I saw them holding clubs and so on. For goodness sake, a man is driving a car and he's driving a lorry and the lorry broke down.
And it doesn't draw compassion. It doesn't
draw compassion from them. Even if your car breaks down, there are some that will just come
waiting to pounce.
Yes, pounce on you that I said, I have a problem with my car. Instead of you assisting me, you want to flee. If I had that money, you think my car will break down?
Exactly. Which now brings me to my perhaps last but one question, sir. In all of this, what exactly is the missing link? What exactly is government failing to do? Because today and tomorrow, if nothing is done to check these protests, frankly, and when I mean check, I'm not talking about police action, I'm talking about government action. If nothing is done, I mean, what we saw yesterday, we look like child's play. This could snowball into another NSAS, into another kind of thing that we can't even control. I think that somehow government thought by 60-something groups pulling out of the so-called NLC protest, whatever that was, and saying, and TUC not also joining, maybe they thought that this whole thing was going to lose steam. But in fact, apart from not losing steam, borrowed steam just came to, join with it, because yesterday's protest, like I said, we are not by the NLC. So what can government sincerely really do to make sure that this matter does not go beyond where it has gone, and that Nigerians, can finally breathe a new lease of life?
Well, you see, in all honesty, as far as I'm concerned, the so-called 63 groups are pulled out. It's just for the
propaganda. Let's just put it
exactly for propaganda. Because, in all honesty, why is it that when there is a pro-government protest, the DSS, the police, will not issue statements to warn that they've had that some hoodlums will infiltrate but they will allow them. But when it is the protest that people are saying they are hungry, it is that time. So all these are just the usual propaganda, the go-bells of this world who will just come and begin to bring red herrings to scare people. What the government needs to do, this idea of palliative is even annoying to me. Because when you talk of palliative, if you look at the real meaning of palliative, is that just a short-term treatment for you.
A stopgap.
A stopgap. So, the issue of palliative, you give people 20,000, no, that's not what, 20,000 will finish. What should be done is to control or to make sure that things are easy for people. The food inflation we are talking about, people confuse it sometimes with the naira and dollar exchange rate. I don't think that is the cause of it. The cause of it is that the food production in the country has dwindled. How many farmers go to farm now? How many farmers are allowed to till their land when the half of the country, especially the arable land, is occupied by bandits and so on, and people, farmers are afraid to go to the farm so that they won't be kidnapped and ransom demanded. So, if the issue of security is tackled frontally, prices of food will come down. But as long as, and the rainy season is coming, and this is the best time to do it, to tackle frontally the issue of security, because when people have food to eat, the issue of exchange rate of dollar will go down. When people talk of exchange rate of dollar, what are the foods that we are importing? Apart from rice, do we import yam? Do we import grains? Even if we import grains, it's from our neighboring country. Those ones are paid in CFA and not in dollars. So the truth of the matter is that as long as we don't improve the security situation in the country, things will continue to go high. And when you improve security in the country, we will produce extra grains that we can even export. Well, because this idea of saying that you must not export grains, you must not export, you don't want to export, but you want to import.
Oh, well, I fear that this is where we may have to drop anchor this morning. But of course, it's been a very wonderful conversation. And I wish that we had more time to look into the issues, because the insights that you're dropping here are things that really would be helpful if government were to summon the courage and the will to do what is right. But Dr. Olayinka Oyegbile, journalist yourself and journalism educator, we can't thank you enough for spending your morning with us on Enterprise TV. Yes.
It's been nice being here.
Thank you very much, sir. And that's about the size of our package, our offering for you this morning on Enterprise Morning. Thanks for being our guest. We implore you to look at the comment section and see where you may want to drop your comments and tell us what you think, more especially about the protest going on. If it's in a part of town, do well to drop a comment and tell us what is going on there. We would like to hear from you. Until we come away again tomorrow, same time, my name is Cyril Abaku, saying thanks for being here. God bless you.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.